Hello everyone, welcome back to Piston Cup Productions, and today we're going to be doing something very OG once again to celebrate the 15th anniversary of Cars coming very soon next month. We're going to be going back in time to something that is probably not remembered by many, unless you're an OG. If you were born in 2007, 8, around that time, you probably know about these. The mini adventures. Y'all remember these? I hope you do. If you don't, I think you're a little too young. You probably just play with the mini racers right now. Just please learn about these. These were the greatest thing ever back then. If you say mini racers, as in the ones that came out for Cars 3, are better than freaking mini adventures, I'm sorry, but no, you just can't. Anyways, welcome to another nostalgic video, and I hope you guys enjoy it. We're gonna be taking a look at my mini adventures collection and unboxing a few that I got in the mail not too long ago, a few days ago. So, without further ado, let's get this video on the road. Ka-chow! Alright, so basically all the ones that are loose are previously owned ones and a few new ones that I got. For example, the ones from Lightning McQueen's team, like Sally, Lizzie, I think a few other ones like Flo, Ramon, this Ramon right here, and Cruising McQueen. I got those in the mail along with these three up the back. Everything else, though, I already previously owned from when I was a kid. And I also have the Banshee. I completely forgot about him, and just until now, I just remembered about him. Yeah, the Banshee. He's up there. But yeah, since he's way too big, you know, I just showed him on the camera right now in my collection. But yeah, here's my mini adventures collection. Pretty nice. I mean, you know, I got these two from a playset way back in the day that included these two. Put a picture right here of that little playset. Yeah, basically this is what I would kind of play with besides, you know, besides these, I would play with these as a kiddo back in when they were first released. If they came out in 2008, I'm assuming I was 4. Yeah, I was 4 years old. I also had Flo's V8 Cafe, and I think it came with this one right here. I think so. I'll find a picture and I'll just slap it on there or something. Anyways, and then the one with the Banshee was this Mater right here. Basically every set, if I'm not mistaken, had like a little mini to come along with it. You know, kind of like today how they still do it. Anyways, so I want to kind of compare them to their 155 scale die-cast and compare them to the, you know, the little plastic versions. You know, that's one thing. That's the major difference between mini racers, like, you know, I'm talking about as in mini racers. That's the biggest difference between, you know, mini racers and mini adventures is that these are plastic and those are metal. You know, like, don't get me wrong. This is great. This is great, but I like this better. I'm just so nostalgic for these because this is kind of what I grew up with. And don't get me wrong, the mini racers are cool and all, but even then, they had some sick, and I mean some sick freaking series back then. Tuners, Radiator Springs Fire Department, Radiator Springs, Race Roads. I mean, they got creative. And nowadays, the series these guys are in, it's a mess. It's literally a mess. Some packages, you have them with their series labeled, and some of them you have them without their packaging labeled, and it's like, it's a mess. They don't have anything organized. But yeah, one thing I really liked about the mini adventures is that, you know, they got a new expression in comparison to their 155 scale versions. Whereas Mattel Minis, the mini racers, in comparison now to their 155 scale versions, they kind of have the same expression. Rare if they have new ones. But yeah, look, even Fillmore has a new expression right here on this little mini racer, and he's so chubby. I feel like, I mean, yeah, they didn't have the best detail. But take note, this was the birth of mini collecting for Cars, and I mean, this was literally the beginning. You know, they feel great in the hand. Honestly, I feel like this is more appropriate as a mini than this. This is, in my opinion, maybe a little too small. I don't know. I'm just now that I'm, you know, you're comparing two things from different eras, 2008, 2017. It's like almost an entire decade later. You can't really, you know, it's not really a fair comparison because, you know, they started from this and they got to this. But then you start saying, well, it's kind of a downgrade. You know, yeah, they're metal, blah, blah, blah. But at the same time, it's like, that's cool that they're metal. At the same time, if you're looking for metal stuff, we'll just go for 155 scale stuff in Disney Store. I think personally that back then this was the start of what was to come in the future. Variety. Like if you didn't like 155 scale diecast and you didn't like them getting their paint chipped, kids out there had the option to get little mini plastic versions which had almost near exact details. And, you know, some were missing. They weren't exactly 100% accurate to the movies and whatnot, but even then, there was something for everyone. And if you didn't like this scale, you know, of course you had this scale. And if you didn't like this scale, you had Disney Store scale and larger scale like Jada. And, you know, there was pretty much variety for everyone. If you didn't like this size or that size, you can just look at different sizes that they have. And if you like more creative stuff, like, you know, with 155 scale diecast, it seems to be restricted, especially back then. Nowadays, I don't know what the hell Mattel's doing. Freaking Racing Red, a bunch of random paint jobs that never appear in the movies. Back then, these were really just restricted to canon versions in the movies. Now, well, okay, yeah, you gotta admit this is cool, but like, you know, was never canon in the movies. Back then, you know, they just make the canon stuff, the stuff that appears in the movies, the main characters. But yeah, that was the cool thing about mini adventures back then, is that it didn't have to be canon. They were smaller scale. You didn't have to think of them as canon. You could have think of them as a separate universe almost, because they were just a bunch of different versions. You can think, oh, the king visited Radiator Springs one time and he went on Willie's Butte. You know, stuff like that. It's fun. That's what I like about the mini adventures. And then freaking Mattel mini racers, it's like they're doing canon stuff, but at the same time, it's just repaint over repaint over repaint of freaking McQueen, Mater, or Cruz. And you might be saying, oh, well, it's the same thing here. They're just doing repaints of the same characters. Well, here they're doing it right. Here it's done right. Look, I mean, that's unique. That's unique. Yeah, that's freaking unique too, that McQueen with the goggles. Heck, even that's unique. Sheriff Mater. They literally made that as a Cars 3 mini racer not too long ago. It's like they copied their own homework. Because take note, these are made by Mattel. This one right here, as you saw in this packaging back here, is part of the Parade of Classics series. And that's where this remote comes in from. And you might be fooled thinking it's the old school remote, but it's not. You know, that was the glory of these mini racers, is that they didn't have to be canon or anything. They were their own little universe. You might think they were like baby toys, because, you know, they're smaller and they're plastic, but at the same time, I mean, heck, anything from back then is now a collector's item if you really think about it, because they're not in stores. But yeah, I mean, you definitely can get those vibes. This was, you know, more intended towards smaller children back then. I mean, everyone's pretty much babyified, if that's the right word. But at the same time, it just works. I don't know why. It certainly worked. I mean, it worked for me, clearly. I was only 4 when these were released, and it certainly worked. I mean, heck, this just reminds me of Starbucks for some reason. Caramel type of vanilla coffee. But yeah, I've had these for so many years, and they've withstood the test of time. The only one that's really damaged in my collection is Flow, and the axles don't really turn. The front ones. The back ones are fine. Yeah, the back ones are fine. What else? Oh yeah, so here's, I mean, there's just so much variety with these, and it's just really sad when you look back and you say, what happened? You know, these were not as crazy as today. I mean, when you look at Cars 3 mini racers, you probably think, oh, collector, not really for the younger ones anymore. This right here is more for the younger side. Yes, but at the same time, no, you know what? You're not wrong. You're not wrong. Yes, this does seem like it was targeted more towards children back then. But at the same time, you gotta admit they were freaking cool. Just the variety they had with these. And I mean, did you really think Pixar was in their office and thinking, hey, let's make a movie about talking cars. This is intended for children. Just children. No, they didn't know that. I mean, John Lasseter really only had one thing in mind when making this movie. Love letter for Route 66 and racing and all that stuff, right? It's a story. It's going to be a quality story. We're going to win awards for this stuff because, you know, we're that freaking good at storytelling. And then somehow it turned into a franchise that is seen as a kid's thing now, which is sad. And when you look at this at first glance, and then you probably start thinking that, you're probably thinking, this is what seals my argument of, oh yeah, Cars is a freaking kids franchise. No. It's not a kid's franchise. It's for everyone. I mean, look at this. You gotta admit this is cool. Come on. It's like they took this, morphed it into this, and just gave them a pretty much a camo paint job. It's awesome. It's cool. Man, Mattel, if they were watching this video, they'd love me for talking so good about their products. I mean, heck, look how freaking dapper this McQueen looks, the mini version. Look at his eyes. I mean, yeah, they were a little bit more cartoony, but they just had charm. Every single one of these toys had charm back then. And it's sad that really they're not like this anymore. I mean, hate them or love them, this was what started mini adventure. Well, not mini adventures. Obviously, that started mini adventures because these are mini adventures. But this is what started what was a predecessor known as micro drifters, and this was what started the predecessor of micro drifters, which was Cars 3 mini racers. But yeah, I mean, you can't go wrong with these. If you ever just like go to a flea market or something and you just see a mini adventure, pick it up. Trust me, you're gonna love it. It's the right size. It's the perfect size. Heck, I feel more comfortable holding a mini adventure than a mini racer. I don't know why. And you know, it really just varies. I know they might not be for everyone, but for me, they definitely were the absolute best back then. I mean, just look at this. This is quality toys at its finest. So really, I mean, that's what was the joy of Cars back then, is that you didn't have to think of these for the sake of collecting. Like, oh, I'm going to keep them in sealed and blah, blah, blah. That's all what they're meant for. Don't play with them. These are collector's items. No. In my eyes, mini adventures is what defines enjoying these toys. You don't have to keep them sealed. You don't have to not enjoy them. Heck, they're so much fun, especially if you have the Banshee sets. Oh my goodness, bro, you're gonna have so much fun with that thing. And then it'll encourage you to buy more and more and more, and eventually you have the whole collection. Heck, they did haulers as well. They did Mac and Billy Oil Changers hauler, if I'm not mistaken. And I think also N2O Cola. And I think also the Dynaco one and maybe Chicks? I could be wrong. I think I'm illusioning stuff. But heck, they even went out to do different expressions. I mean, it really was just something next level. And I mean, you know, when we open this, you start thinking, they really just went back to try to reboot something they've done before. I mean, look at that. That is amazing. That's amazing. That's amazing. I mean, even the expression this one has is amazing. Just the expression alone. Look what it says right there. Having an exciting time in the pit at the Piston Cup. We're ready, or we're red hot and ready for the big race. See you soon. Oh, interesting description. Okay. Made in China by Mattel. And I guess you can really come along here and just cut that out and keep it if you want. And here's, you know, the little peg when they were hanging in stores, kind of just hanging like that, you know. All right, let's open up this Lightning McQueen's Team McQueen and Mater 2-pack. These were all sold pretty much as either 2-packs or multi-packs, but for the most part, you'd get these as 2-packs. And I think this is just a bunch of paper. I'm not sure there's anything in there. No, there isn't. But heck, even you can keep this. Look, this is thick quality cardboard. I mean, the name tags of today's cars are thin cardboard that just rips in a little touch. Just a one touch and they'll rip. Now, see, this is quality packaging. All right, so now, I mean, come on. You can't tell me they went back to the drawing board and said, hey, let's copy paste. Unless, I mean, that's debatable though, because, you know, this is canon to Cars 3. But at the same time, it's like, at one point it was a fantasy for a toy line, and then it became real and canon to a movie. But you have your say on what you think of the mini adventures. Do you like them? Do you hate them? I don't see how you can hate these. They're cute. Come on, they're cute. You can't go wrong with these. They're quality. And, you know, I just got a duplicate McQueen, but heck, it's in better condition than the one I had as a kiddo. Actually, never mind. I actually took care of this one. It's just the eyes, really. That's messed up. Huh, and different base colors. That's interesting. But yeah, these were top notch. I love them. I'm just so nostalgic for this. Look at that. The official Radiator Springs stamp seal thingy-majingy. And look at the name tag. All that old crustiness or vintage looking on the name tag. I mean, that's just the attention to detail. You might think, oh, this is all creased up and ugly looking. Well, yes, it is, but it just added on to how it's supposed to look, because it's kind of themed out to look that way. Not like today's packages from Cars that are all themed out to look crisp, fresh, and brand new and clean. And don't get me wrong, they look good, but if you're going for a Radiator Springs theme, this is how you do it. Make them look classic type of, not Western, but just vintage is what I'm trying to say. Damn! My first Chick Hicks mini racer, and it looks really good. It really does. Here's the 155 scale version. Yeah, I love them. You just can't go wrong with them. Yes, they don't have the amount of details that the mini racers have nowadays, but they just have charm. They just hold their ground with one word: charm. Look at this Danica McQueen. I just love the face. He looks so swagger. Like an absolute swagger. That's what I'm trying to say. He just looks so cool. He looks hip. He looks amazing. And I wonder, is there one with the bling bling tires? I'm not sure, but I mean, it's called the Danica Dream series, so it wouldn't hurt to dream there is one. And now we're getting to this last pack right here. Lightning McQueen's team, Sarge and Fillmore. Oh my goodness, just the race rod ones. Look at that. That's just unique. Look at the Sheriff. Look at the Ramon. Look at the Tuner's Boost and Snot Rod. Just look amazing. They look great. And look, they're little cops. That's amazing. This one right here is a little cop. Look at that. Look at Mater as a little cop. Yeah, I praise these. I really do, because they're, I don't know what else to say. I think I've said everything I wanted about them. I've given them so much praise already because I just love these. Yeah, no doubt. Probably, I mean, if I had to rank them from my favorite to least favorites, I'd say my favorites, probably Mini Adventures. Second favorites, Micro Drifters. Oof, I loved the freaking Micro Drifters. Those were amazing. They were just some of the coolest things ever. And it just showed that, you know, they could, despite being plastic, they're quality and fun. And now the the mini racers, it's like kind of like little blind boxes. It's like they're trying to be the Ryan Toy Review wannabes or something. It's like, where's the charm in that? You know, it's like now you get them in 3-packs and, you know, sometimes in multi-packs, and you get a bunch of duplicates. How many duplicates did I get from opening these 3-packs? 1. And heck, it was a Lightning McQueen, which is expected. Nowadays, you get mini racers, duplicate after duplicate after duplicate. Here, there was nearly no way of getting a duplicate. Even if you got like another Sarge, like right here. Look at his face. He's on something else. I think Fillmore did a real effect on him, but he looks amazing. It's like the attitude of Sarge was passed on to Fillmore, all determined and stuff, and then the attitude of Fillmore was passed on to Sarge. He's all just high on that organic fuel, if you know what I mean. But yeah, like with these, you don't get duplicates as you do today. Micro Drifters kind of had that issue as well, but it was mostly just with McQueen and Mater. And Mini Adventures, I mean, just hardly any duplicates. Mostly just McQueen. But then again, that's expected. I mean, just look at the banner right there. That says Lightning McQueen. With the white and red, it works. It works perfectly. It's unique. It just gave it all the more to love about these toys that are now from, unfortunately, a bygone era. You know, you had the logo from the... What was it? This McQueen right here? Yeah, there you go. It doesn't look bad at all. I love it. It's just so good. It's amazing. Look at that. I mean, Come on. You cannot tell me that these were not the best thing back then. But that's gonna be pretty much it for this video. It was mostly just a discussion video and a collection video of my little mini adventures. Not really a review, because, you know, I was just taking a look at something from a bygone era. But nonetheless, I hope you guys felt nostalgic, had fun looking at these. And if you have some, please don't give them away. These are amazing. Trust me. Just look back at the times when you would play with these, and you're going to remember all the great times you had with these. This is great. Yeah, but this is where it's at. This is the fun stuff right here. You don't have to worry about them getting chipped. You don't have to worry about them getting... Well, maybe they'll get lost. But they're just so much fun. They're just so much fun. Look at this one. This one wobbles. Isn't that cute?
See you later.